Your media, where you are.
All right, and welcome to season 2 of The Calling with Myself. Yes, it's Neo here. And today we have a very special guest in studio. As always, we search the length and breadth of this entire country to bring you the most knowledgeable people that can be able to break down the most complex of information. All right. Now, I'm sure a lot of us and a lot of people out there have been hearing this talk about Umsamo. What is Umsamo? Other instances, you hear somebody saying, apparently Umsamo is not correct and they need to fix it. Abanye will tell you kuti Umsamo was ruined a long time ago due to what Mkhulu did and so forth. And a lot of us, when we think of Umsamo, we think of an altar, right? But it's very rare that you get an in-depth description of what is Umsamo. So we are very lucky to be joined in studio today by our very, very knowledgeable guest. And yes, joined in studio today by His Excellency, the Crown Prince Makhosiwetivhe of the continental Embu Kingdom of Africa. All right, he's heir to His Royal Majesty King Bongani III. So, as I've already mentioned, our guest today, Crown Prince of the continental Embu Kingdom of Africa, in studio with us. Your Excellency, thank you for joining me today. Bye, Khosi. You know how normally this would go, right? Shaya, what do you call it? Itagazelo, and so forth. And that is so appropriate, I guess, going into this. Uguti, what is the importance of that and so forth? And now today our focus is on Umsamo. But before we jump into that, can you just give us a brief background about yourself?
Okay, my Sanbonan,
Bayet.
my brief background comes to the Embu Kingdom.
Yes.
Which is the Embu Kingdom mostly focuses on African spirituality.
Yes.
African spirituality in what ways? Our mission is to ukulungisa imisamo yabantu. But that's the briefest description.
And I can imagine that, Embu Kingdom, with the role and the responsibilities you have, I mean, it's taken you to a lot of spaces and a lot of places, but yet you remain focused on the element of Umsamo, despite the many projects and the many responsibilities that you have within the kingdom. True. Right? True. So without wasting too much time, I'd love for us to just get into Umsamo. What is Umsamo? From, for somebody that is new, a listener or somebody that is tuning in, I'd like to understand. Because for a very long time, I thought Umsamo is the altar, the place where I go. Or Indomba. Yes. Where I go and I kneel down and I do whatever to speak to Amadluzwami, Phasha, Ngenza Loko. But, through various conversations that I've had with you, I've been lucky enough to actually learn that there is so much more to Umsamo than that.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say it's mostly focused on Indoma. Godwa before siqala ngomsamo and partaking into in Umsamo kahle kahle.
Yebo.
Let's start by defining the African word into. Noma into. Abantu, umuntu, lento, mutu.
Yes.
Nto,
yes.
The English translation means ukuthi, a person or something that has to do with a spirit inside it.
Yes.
That's the definition of ntu.
So that actually refers to the spirit.
Yes. Why am I saying so? Ntu awukaze wathola umuntu akukhuza athi ungayenzi lento.
Yes.
Why are they saying that? It goes much in deeper meaning than ungayenzi lento on the surface level.
Yes.
Why am I saying that? Ungayenzi lento it means there is a consequence after the thing that you have done. So a consequence in what way? A more spiritual consequence, a more physical, emotional, environmental.
Yes.
So Ntu is everything that we are. It is everything the world is. Ntu, to further explain, is all about what we see around us.
All right. It's existence.
Exactly. Ntu is everything we do. This conveys that there is harmony between the physical world
Yes.
and the spiritual world.
All right.
Therefore, Ntu can be referred to as a way of life. It's a philosophy. It's something that we as the Bantu people,
Yes, there's
believe
two
in.
again in there.
Ntu is a philosophy, is what we subscribe to as abantu abamnyama.
Or what we ought to subscribe to or ascribe to.
Yes, and when I say Bantu, I'm not specifically saying the Ngoni tribes or the black melanated people. That no, a white person is Ntu, is a person.
Okay.
Why am I saying that? What makes a human being?
Yes.
A human being is a breathing, living, physical being.
Yes.
3 components.
I fit all of those.
Most probably, yeah. It's a breathing, living, and physical being.
Yes.
The body makes up a human being. Number
Yes.
1. Number 2 is the soul. Lastly is the spirit. So why are we saying there are 3 components of a human being? The body relates to the physical world. It's something
Yes.
that you can.
It's tangible. I can touch it and so forth. Right.
Hence, you find the 5 senses within the body.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's the brief explanation that I can give.
It's
you
very interesting that
about the
you
body,
refer to, hence you find the 5 senses. And the beauty about it is all these 5 senses are, orchestrated, or their functionality is supported by, to hear.
Yeah.
It's the ears.
Yeah.
Nose and so forth, right?
Yes.
But I find it very interesting because now it permeates now into something that is non-tangible. You do functions with the 5 apparatus on the body that are responsible for the 5 senses, right? You do something that cannot necessarily be touched.
Exactly. But it comes to the soul now, what you are relating to. Why am I saying the soul? The soul is an intermediary. It's the bridge between the spirit and the body.
Mm-hmm.
The soul is where the mind is. The mind, I mean, I can't define what a mind is, but a mind, it can be a person's set of intellectual and mental faculties.
All right.
Perception, memory, reasoning, feelings, and consciousness.
All happening in the mind.
All happening in the mind.
Now, once again, all of these things that you're referring to, I'll keep going back to this. Non-tangible.
Exactly.
You cannot touch them. So somehow the body is allowing me to have an experience that goes beyond the physical.
The body is a tool.
Yes.
Of the soul. That's how I can define it, as a tool. So mengithi kuwe, or let's just say, for the interest sake, why is it a person with a gift? Mebathi kuwe hamba uyoyenza lento. Obviously angeke bahambe uhambe ngomoya. Because
yes.
where you are sent to, you won't be able to do the mission that you have sent. So you need the body.
Yes.
Hlanganisa lokhu.
I get you. So literally, the body is that vehicle that enables me to perform functions and go to certain places and do certain things.
And also, it's also to make you relatable to others.
Yes.
So that you don't be like an alien terrestrial being or something. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So under the soul, also we have the will. The will is to decide or bring about or attempt to effect. Secondly, to make something happen by power of one's thoughts.
Okay.
That's under the will. And lastly, not lastly, but second lastly, is the space filled by our ancestors is between the soul and the spirit, but mostly focusing on the soul in this case. And lastly is the shadow, ithunzi.
Like, are you referring to my shadow as I'm walking? I can see a shadow.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the reflection of a body. But
Yeah.
indeed, why am I saying this?
Yeah.
Ithunzi is sort of like it's a coin.
Yeah.
There's one side and there's also another side. So there's a head and a tail.
Yes.
So in the head of that coin would be the soul,
Yes.
right? And then the other side, the tail of the other coin would be the shadow. So it hand in hand.
Okay, I get you.
Hence uthola umuntu bathi sokuthejula ithunzi.
Yes. That's the general phrase that is normally used.
Yes, yeah.
So essentially meaning that, okay, fine. By a tebula through getting to your istunes.
Yes. And under the spirits, we have umoya. What
Yes.
we call umoya. Tina abamnyama. Unfortunately, I can't define the spirit. Why am I saying that? Because you can't define the Almighty. You can't define umdali, umenzi.
So the spirit is creation.
The spirit is the creation. Is lomoya lo banthembe nina. Namhlanje nithi amathonga ngithi. Namhlanje nithi yini amadlozi.
Yeah.
Lomoya lo umdali athembe amadlozi wakho ukuthi ukwazi ukuchubekela phambili.
Yes.
Ulomoya lo, the first person umveli ngane.
Yeah.
Mega faka emntwini umoya. That's the moya I'm speaking about. That's the spirit we call today.
Your Excellency. Right.
Right.
That's quite a revelation for me. All right.
How so?
Because siyahamba, we see emaphehlweni, or we go on a journey of discovery because we are seeking to connect with something way deeper than ourselves. And I'm sure by now, anybody that is listening right now and who has been listening from the beginning says, "Kutwe bazokhuluma ngomsamo," right? And now, what we have done, or what you rather have done, is you have started by defining our existence.
Or the components of a human being.
The components that make us who we are. And from that on, can we then start assuming that from what you've described right now, does that then inform our purpose for being here?
That's a different question for
another
subject. Why am I saying so? Because umuzi nomuzi noma ngithi namhlanje sithi isibongo.
Yes.
Kodwa fanele uthi umuzi nomuzi has its different purpose on earth.
Right?
So I can't go into that now.
Yes.
Because you can't get the purpose yakho noma ipurpose yasendlini.
Yes.
Yasendlini without understanding your identity. That's the first component of Umsamo. Okay?
Whoa. All right. And now I see why we had to start where we started. Because I can see how it is now then bringing us to a full circle around the concept of Umsamo.
Yes.
But, can we just unpack it a bit further and just, look at what are the components then that make up this thing as it Umsamo?
Okay. But before I anticipated that you would ask that.
Yeah.
But before we go into the components that are making Umsamo, let's just define what Umsamo is from someone passing by the street.
Definitely. Like,
So-
masikhuluma ngomsamo yini vele vele.
Yes.
Like, can we define that?
So for every Tom, Dick, and Harry, excuse my language, but people say Umsamo is the altar where you speak to abantu abadala.
That's my understanding of it up to so far.
Your
That has been the
ancestors.
understanding of many people.
Kanti cha. Why ngithi cha? Umsamo kula ukhuluma nabantu abadala khona noma uthandazela khona noma uphahla khona. They call it indumba. Indumba leyo ngithi.
Yeah.
Indlu yabantu abadala. Noma bathi yikhishi lang eNatal bathi yikhishi cishe ngathi la ngiphuma khona. eNatal bathi yikhishi.
Ikishi.
Is that's a place of manifestations. That's a place of ukuphahla. That's a place where uyocela. But it's very dogmatic to subjugate Umsamo to that part.
Yeah.
Why am I saying so? Because Umsamo is so broad. And you are
Yeah, I was about to say that. Okay, so it's not an altar; it's actually indomba or rukish. But
No.
now you're saying that.
Umsamo. But before we go into that, maybe let me explain abantu abadala. Why am
Alright.
I saying? Maybe let me explain why am I saying indumba noma umsamo lani nina mina ngicabanga ukuthi umsamo kulani phahlela khona.
Yebo.
It's very narrow-minded or dogmatic.
Yes, yes.
Ngoba we need to first understand abantu abadala.
Idalwa,
Noma nithi ithongo abaphansi. Amadlozi kibadimo ke izithunywa
Iy'thunywa.
indlozi idalwa lingeloyi. However, we can't define abantu abadala for two reasons.
Yeah.
The issue of abantu abadala comes down to isibongo noma amaXhosa bathi isiduko,
Istugo, yes.
and then Basotho le Mapedi le Batswana ba re sefane.
Sefane,
Yes. So and
Sefane, sereto.
Sireto, not quite.
Okay.
We'll go into that deeper in
Okay.
the identity component.
Yes.
So number two, why I can't define abantu abadala
Yes.
is that we need to understand the hierarchy of heaven and earth spiritually.
Okay.
So coming back to isbongo, simply put, a person passing down the streets, uzothi isbongo is a surname.
Yeah, that's my understanding of it. You know.
Isdugo, the closest will say, is a clan name. A surname in English, this is a Google definition, by the way,
Yeah.
either of a surname. A surname is a hereditary name common to all members of the family, distant or immediate.
All right. Yes. That's what identifies us as one.
Exactly.
As of the same family.
Yes.
Okay.
But now, with the issue with evolution
Yeah.
comes a semantic issue.
Yes.
Why am I saying semantic? Words, they lose in meaning, yeah, or normal the actual meaning. For instance, I can give you an example of what's this? How do you define what's the difference between a last stop and a destination? That's a
Literally
semantic-
none.
That's a semantic issue.
Look, we could break it down and we could like literally go scientific into it and really go in depth into it. But just from ngaphandle nje, you're saying one and the same thing.
But actually, it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Because
I like last
because-
stop destination.
and a last stop, yeah. Because now what you understand is that
A last stop is a finality. A destination could be given that particular moment in time.
but not really. Let's not go into politics. Or
All right.
why am I saying that? But
Yeah.
just to give you a brief understanding of the last stop to me.
Yeah.
The last stop to me is, for instance, I can use a Gautrain
Yeah.
and get off, what's this, a Hatfield.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to Hatfield. I'm going to Arcata.
Yeah, but
That's a destination for me.
Arcadia is the destination. The last stop is defined by the mode of transportation that you're using in this particular context.
Now you see, now why was I bringing that argument to you is that I wanted to show you a semantic issue.
Yeah, I now I see exactly what you mean,
Do you
and
understand?
how so much of this gets lost in translation.
Now, coming back to the issue of Umsamo, isbongo in actual meaning, isbongo
Yes.
is a praise name in Africanism as opposed to a surname. Isbongo.
Isbongo is actually a praise
a
name.
praise name. Mina why am I saying Isbongo are the names of the people or people?
Yeah.
Different in what's this? Different people that have the same meaning. Isbongo game. Mina nguhatef. Isibongo sami namhlanje sithi uhatef noma hatef. Kodwa khona umthi mkhulu. Khona ubhongani. Khona uzikode. Khona umashiyamahle. Khona unsele.
Yebo.
All these people are my ancestors.
They're all of the same
name, but of the different praise name. They have a different praise name.
Yeah.
Why am I saying that? Let me give you an example of Upongani wesibili. Upongani wesibili igama lakhe lokuzalwa umlotshwa. Umlotshwa.
Igama, hayi isibongo.
Hayi isibongo, igama.
But today you're hard pressed to come across a person by the name of Umlotshwa.
Exactly.
But you will most definitely find a lot of people ngaleso sibongo.
Yes. Now you understand. So igama laka Pongani wesibili umlotshwa. Kodwa mekangena ebukhosini beku Pongani wesibili. Upongani. Umakhulukhulu lo mesimthakazela. Mesibonga sithi umakhulukhulu undlube zamila emthonjeni waSothondosi. That's a praise name.
Yeah.
It's not a say name. Isibongo leso. Yizibongo ke leso.
Oh, isibongo.
Ukubonga, imbongi.
Imbongi.
Yes.
To praise. Oh my goodness. Yo, nyabonga. Like this is full circle.
Yes.
I am this excites me.
But coming back to the definition, the people's names who are popular are the people that were actually popular.
That became popular.
Yes.
And carried names.
Yeah. Are those ones that have praise names.
So it's not necessarily everybody that has praise names or that had praise names.
Yes, you could say so, but why am I coming to this?
Yeah.
For instance, in your family, if I can ask, in your family tree, Your
Excellency. And now it shows me how much I have neglected a particular side of my family. I do things there because fani hamoshweshwe. Yabo lishakon labo me.
Okay.
Wa mme waka. You understand what I'm saying?
Okok, yeah.
Okok wami ozala umama wami.
Unina, yeah.
Yeah, Unina. Before she got married and took on my grandfather's surname, her husband, right? That was the surname. You understand? So, you've just brought me also to reflect and say, I've neglected that side of the family. Because you understand? And literally, right? But then,
Wow,
because I've not taken the same amount of energy and effort to learn.
Yeah, true.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, true. And then why did I ask you now?
Yeah.
Is that those people who are popular and heroes and warriors. Bomoshweshwe so. Ho ka thola gantle moshweshwe a tsilbitso la gae.
As funny.
Not fun.
It's not even his name.
Exactly.
Why
ke so? Gona le Khosi ya mapedi ya ba rota. Ke Skukhune. Skukhune ke praise name.
The praise name.
Yes. Lebitso ke I think
or
something.
Hence you will have somebody ascending to the throne.
Yes.
Right? Ele neokwaho.
Yes.
But the minute they ascend to the throne, hotlatwe ke Moshweshwe the 5th.
Exactly.
Or the 6th.
Yes.
And then that is the new role that they assume. They I would guess they would be the physical representation of Bashwesh.
Yes.
Okay.
So coming back to that is that if you can understand that praise names were given to someone who were popular.
Yes.
To warriors, kings, chiefs. In
Induna.
inkosazana lezi beshade ku elento. For instance, there's isizwe samahlubi namhlanje.
Yes. Oh, Hlubi.
Ohlubi. Amahlubi
Yebo.
actually is the name of a woman.
Oh. Is that where Hlubi as is known today as a nation?
That woman,
Is that where it originates from, the name Amahlubi?
Amahlubi, comes from the name the lady Inkosazana yakwaMabhele.
Okay.
Yes.
Now you know yourself a bit more if you're Hlubi.
So now an example also is that Umkhize. Mkhize is not a surname. Mkhize. To me, Mkhize is not a surname.
Why is that?
Mkhize is a wind. Is a place. Mkhizaneni. Abantu bakamkhize fanele nazi ukuthi kwaMkhize is actually a significant name relating to the place where you were settled.
Oh.
Ngoba abantu bakwamkhize bebalusa inkomo zabo nemvu nelento nezinye izinto siwabiza amatekane thina amatekane phezulu kwentaba.
All right.
Kula kunomkhizwane.
Yini umkhizwane?
It's a wind.
It's a wind. Yes.
As kilo yabona the wind that comes with rain.
Yes, isicala ukushaya.
Umkhizwane ke lo.
Oh, it's not just any wind, but it's that particular
Wind, yes. Umkhizwane. Ohadebe,
yes.
just to give you a brief what's this different perspective.
Yes.
Ohadebe. Now, Mkhize is a place, or Wamkhizane is a place. Ohadebe is a name of a king that lived. Hadebe no Mahadebe.
Yebo.
Bongani is a king also, but Bongani, why about to Bongani? Bongani is a beetle.
Yes.
Eshainai.
Yes, I get you.
And then
Like a dung beetle.
Yes. Yeah. So that's the brief understanding or brief explanation
Yes.
relating to isbong or what is Pumabi bong. Ngoba another issue relating to ibongo. During the white settlement times,
Now we're talking the 1600s.
17, 18-ish,
Right.
when the English wanted to conquer us,
Yes.
they did not have an understanding as to thina sebenza kanjani.
Yes.
Why am I saying that? Because mohlangana nomuntu emgwaqweni noma estradini
Yebo.
uzothi mina ngoMakhosiwetivhe ngabhongani wesithathu ubhongani wesithathu
Ga.
kaMbube uMbube kaNdwamba kaNtshiti uNtshiti kaNcwane amagama wabantu.
Those were not surnames.
And exactly.
Now you're leading me down a path
Yes.
where, really, frankly speaking, there were no surnames.
They weren't. They weren't. Honestly.
So today, Mas Phasha, and we are calling all these names.
Actually, you're calling more Phasha Obiza your reference to Ezulwini.
It's like you quote yam.
Exactly. It's a barcode.
Now here,
Ngizalwa ubani bani bani
Ngitswalwa
bani.
ke?
Yes.
born of, who is born, going back.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's the second part of Ibong. If you understand. So Ibong nazo. The thing that why I was explaining to the white settlement. They did not understand ukuthi thina la sihlala khona.
Yes.
It's actually a clan of a family, or it's a family.
Yes.
So mina mohlangana nami ngizothi ngubani bani kababami. Ngubani bani sengiyasho nguMakhosiwetivhe ka Bongani wesithathu. Ubongani wesithathu does not necessarily mean a surname. So abantu, when they want to conquer us, abelungu.
Yes.
They did not understand that technicality.
So technicality.
Yes. So the technicality leyo. Then you would ask a person, so what is your clan name? What is your house?
Yes.
Your surname?
So that was how to truly identify.
By people.
That is how we truly identified one another.
Yes, as us as black people.
As Bantu Abangwane.
Yes. But the whites did not understand that.
Yeah.
So why, hence I'm explaining this again, is that the issue comes down to umuntu bebam identify ngobukhosi bala hlala khona noma ubukhosi bala beka shate khona noma ubukhosi beka la akhona phambi kwabo. I'll give you a brief understanding as to that.
Please.
Today, khona isibongo sakwa Radebe.
Yebo.
Most people that are under uHadebe noma uHadebe,
Yes.
they are not uHadebe or Radebe.
Yes.
But the chief lawyer ngalesikhathi lesikubusa Mkhulu no Langalibalele. Angithi bona bathi yinzalo kaHadebe. So lenzalo le yaka Radebe le.
Yes.
Umuntu omunye nomunye ubeka ngekho ubukhosini.
Yes.
Bebathi kuye ubukhosi bakuphi lo ophuma ku. But hawo ngubukhosi baka Mkhulu. Mkhulu kabani abo Radebe. So most people that are using today's surnames, they are not using the actual surnames.
Or they're not using their actual names.
Names, if you have to go that
or
far.
The names of their actual blood, ancestors,
lineage,
forefathers, and so forth.
Yes.
Wow.
That's the second part. Do you understand?
Hey, this is heavy. All right.
But if we can borrow from the Bible, Jesus introduced himself as the son of Joseph.
Yeah, he
son
did.
Of David, the son of Abraham, the son of man. Yeshua is my name. Now, this is too direct because just Joseph was a person. David was a king, a person. Abraham was a person, a man, the first son of first man. Adam, in their context.
In their context, exactly. Yes.
But still, in their context, they understood that awukwazi ukuphahla, awukwazi ukuzibiza ngenye into ongasiyiyo.
Yeah.
The identity still lives.
So it was that important.
Yes.
That even for Jesus to really introduce himself in that particular order.
Yes.
So it would be very clear ubuya kuphi ungubani.
Yes. Now, it is conclusive to ultimately say what a surname is in African tradition and culture.
It's not an African thing.
But in our context, a surname, or in, let's just say, the world, to your antenna, a surname is passed down from one generation
to the next
by a father to child relationship.
Yes.
A father to child. However, reality of today and stats show that 40% of black South African adults and children have their mother's surnames.
As a result of absent fathers or fathers that never took their mothers as wives.
Yeah, due to
40%.
40%.